Have you ever wondered what the world would be like if everyone, everywhere, spoke the same language? Imagine a planet with no misunderstandings, no translation errors, and no cultural divisions caused by words. One voice, one people, united. It sounds like a perfect world, doesn't it? But what if that unity wasn't built on something good? What if it was driven by human pride, by a desire to reach for the heavens on our own terms? This is the story of the Tower of Babel, a story about ambition, pride, and the origins of our divided world. Our story begins after the Great Flood, a time when humanity was given a second chance. Noah's descendants multiplied, and families grew into clans. They journeyed eastward and found a beautiful, wide plain in the land of Shinar. Here, they decided to settle down. Life was no longer a daily struggle for survival. They had mastered new skills, their knowledge was growing, and with it, their confidence swelled into something more. They weren't just content to live. They wanted to achieve greatness. And then, someone had a brilliant and dangerous idea. The idea spread like fire. Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly. They had discovered new technology. Instead of using simple stones and mortars, they could create strong, uniform bricks, baked hard for durability. With this innovation, they began to build. First came the houses, then the streets, and soon, a whole city rose from the plain. But they weren't finished. At the very heart of their new city, they planned to build something monumental, something the world had never seen before. Their ambition was declared for all to hear. Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens so that we may make a name for ourselves and not be scattered over the face of the whole earth. Pay close attention to those words. This wasn't just an architectural project. This was a statement. They weren't building a monument to honor God. They were building it to honor themselves. It was about making their own name great. Their goal was to create a central point of power so strong that no one would ever want to leave. This directly defied God's original command to humanity after the flood, which was to be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. They wanted to stay together, consolidated, and in control. This tower was a symbol of their self-reliance. They sought security without God, unity without obedience, and glory for themselves, not for their Creator. Instead of trusting in God's plan for them, they put all their faith in their own strength, their own ingenuity, and their own bricks. They believed that if they built high enough, they could secure their own destiny. And God saw it all. The Bible tells us that the Lord came down to see the city and the tower that the people were building. He saw their unity, their skill, and their single-minded ambition. And God sighed, if as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Now, this might sound like God was threatened or afraid of human potential, but it was the complete opposite. This was an act of mercy. God knew the human heart. He knew that when human pride has no limits, when our ambition is unchecked by humility, it always, inevitably, leads to corruption, tyranny, and destruction. He saw the dark path they were on. So, what did God do? He didn't send fire from the sky. He didn't unleash another flood to wipe the slate clean. He did something far more subtle and far more profound. He sent confusion. In an instant, their greatest asset, their single language, became their greatest obstacle. Imagine the scene. A worker high on the scaffolding shouts for more bricks, but the person below hands him water. An architect tries to explain a complex design, but his words come out as gibberish. Instructions turned into arguments. Frustration mounted. Cooperation dissolved into chaos. The people who had worked so closely together, sharing one mind and one purpose, were suddenly strangers to one another. The harmonious sound of construction was replaced by a cacophony of confused voices. The work ground to a halt. How could they build a tower to the heavens when they couldn't even ask for a hammer? The grand project, the symbol of their pride and unity, was abandoned. The half-finished tower stood as a monument to their failure, a stark reminder of what happens when humanity tries to usurp God's glory. That place was named Babel, which sounds like the Hebrew word for confused, because it was there that the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From that unfinished city, God scattered the people across the face of the earth, just as he had intended from the beginning. Different language groups formed, and they went their separate ways. founding new nations and cultures all over the globe. The story of the Tower of Babel is not just an ancient myth about why we speak different languages. It teaches us a timeless and deeply relevant lesson about the nature of pride versus faith. Pride stands up and says, "Look at what I have built. Look at what we can achieve." It's sex, fame, control, and self-glorification. But faith looks up and says, "Look at what God has done. Look at his power and his mercy." Unity is a powerful, beautiful thing, but its value depends entirely on its foundation. When our unity is aligned with God's purpose, it can move mountains. But when we build our lives, our companies, or our societies just to make our own name great, everything eventually falls apart. The bricks of pride always crumble. But the story doesn't end with division and scattering. That's the beauty of the biblical narrative. The confusion at Babel was not God's final word on human unity. Throughout the rest of the Bible, God unfolds a plan to bring humanity back together. At Pentecost, the Holy Spirit comes down, and the apostles begin speaking in other tongues, miraculously reversing the curse of Babel as people from many nations hear the good news in their own language. The story points forward to an ultimate reunion. The book of Revelation gives us a breathtaking glimpse of this future, describing a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, every tribe, every people, and every language, standing before the throne and worshiping God together. Not to build a tower to make their own name great, but to praise the one who is truly great. The division of Babel will be healed, not by human effort, but by God's grace. This brings the ancient story directly to our lives today. We all build things. We build careers, families, reputations, and legacies. So, the question the Tower of Babel asks us is this: what are you building for? Are you stacking the bricks of your life to make a name for yourself, trying to reach your own version of heaven through your own strength and achievements? Or are you building a life founded on humility, walking with the God who made heaven and earth? The choice is ours. Are we building our own little towers, or are we becoming a part of his eternal kingdom? Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores these timeless truths.